Ahoy, Captain. We are ready.
All right, I made it. I was just looked at the clock and I'm like, oh shit, I got to get on there. So I saw Jay's placard there. That looked pretty cool. Your
Oh,
screensaver.
thank you. Yes,
Yeah,
our society page.
nice. Good stuff. All right. Well, it is May 9th. I think it's May 9th. Yes, May 9th. Not
Yes,
sure
you
how
may.
that happened, but we're already into May. And for those of you that have been playing with AI, I congratulate you. It is an amazing tool. And I keep finding new stuff to play with, and it's very, very distracting, but also very, very productive. And one of the things I'm going to share with you today is I don't think I talked about this. Did I talk about my mental block? I don't think I covered that yet. Yeah, I've had a serious mental block for the last, I don't know, couple of months about creating the presentation for the webinar for Acquisitionaire. And I finally figured out what it was. It was like, I know the value of this thing and I know the value of the whole presentation and all that. And I also know what my PowerPoint presentations have looked like in the past. They certainly don't look like $1 million, right? The content's worth $1 million, but they certainly don't look like it. So that has been my block of not wanting to move forward. And I've done like everything in my power to create shit to do so I didn't have to do that. And it's got getting to the point where people are asking me for it. I now have that sequence. I've got that full-blown webinar sequence up and running, and it's getting leads. People are opting into it to see this webinar that doesn't exist yet. And since it's already past running, it's now sending them to a replay that doesn't exist yet.
Mm.
And it's getting leads. And I'm sitting here on my thumbs going, shit, I'm wasting valuable resources here. And I got AI to solve my problem. And when I was at Perry's event, one of the speakers is rattling off tools, and most of them I was just letting pass by. But I was making some notes on my phone on a couple of the things that interest me. And then naturally I get home, I'm like, what the hell is this scratch? I have no idea what any of this means. So I start plugging in the URLs of the stuff that I wrote down. And it wasn't that many, but oh my God, everyone I plugged in was like, holy shit, this is a game changer. And one of the ones that was in there was called Gamma. It's a Gamma tool. And what Gamma does is Gamma will take a prompt or basically anything you've got, and it will create a PowerPoint presentation for you out of thin air with graphics and the whole bit. So remember my Perplexity script when I created the whole marketing campaign for Acquisitionaire? It gave me the PowerPoint slides. It even gave me the Midjourney prompts to create the images for the slides. So I took that script and I put it into Gamma as a prompt. And this thing created the most beautiful PowerPoint presentation
All right.
I think I may have ever seen before. And now it made me look like $1 million. So it's pretty cool stuff. So that was what I wanted to share with you guys today. And you want to see the presentation it created
Yes.
in a very,
Yeah.
very short time frame? So this is it. It created like this blue background. It created all of the stuff, and it created all the images from the prompts. It even created some text and additional title slides that I didn't even give it. It was pretty amazing. And the ease of editing it and adding and moving the slides around was as easy as using PowerPoint. But the thing was the base creation of it. It gave me something absolutely phenomenal to start working with. So I'll run through this thing real quick here. Starts off, the end of lead generation as you know it. And it's got the futuristic city there with a big X through it, which I like the X because it reminds me of XRP. So that was kind of cool. And it's talking about the new tech landscape just made traditional lead gen strategies obsolete. And then it goes into the pain. Do you feel this way about your lead generation? And it's got the 3 categories for me to talk about during the presentation. Asking them if they're frustrated, tired of wasting money on crap leads and dismal ROIs and all that. And then I can move them into, you might be anxious, worried about failing and having to close your business, because that's a big thing a lot of people are worried about. They don't get leads, they don't get sales. That means the business closes. That's a big, huge trigger point for a lot of people. And the other thing is just being confused. A lot of people know what they need to do, but they're inundated with all these different tools and ideas, and they just don't know what to do. They're unsure of the best way to reach new buyers. So it's like right on the money. And then I reassure them that that struggle is real. And then here I'm going to talk about the declining conversions, which is kind of what Ryan Dice talked about at his State of the Union address at Traffic and Conversion, struggling to get enough leads because the leads are drying up in a lot of these platforms that people are paying for leads because of new regulations and things. And then, a lot of these people are claiming they've got AI lead gen, and all it is just scraped garbage. So they're just burning money left and right. They're just blowing it out the window. And then disengaged prospects. This is where a lead gen company might get a lead and they might sell it to 20 different people. Like if you're in the real estate space and you're buying real estate leads, you call that lead and that lead is probably pissed because you're the 10th person calling them about the same thing. So that's a problem. People are, these are real struggles people are facing in lead gen. And then you've got the cold, harsh reality. And, this is where traffic costs are rising. Because of the regulations, traffic costs have doubled, if not tripled, for the people advertising in Facebook, pay-per-click, all of that. You've constantly got new people coming up the ranks, biting at your heels, increasing competition at every angle. And then you got the good old fact that SEO just flat out sucks. So it's addressing all 3 big, big problems about getting traffic and leads. And then you got SEOs about to become extinct. Like, how cool is that AI image right there? I didn't even ask for that. It just made it for me. It saw SEOs about to become extinct, and it gave me what that looks like from an AI perspective. And then this is where I can lead into my story about how I retired from SEO after 29 very successful years at it. And this goes into the story of, I found a better way. Talking about acquisition error, coming up with an idea, the idea to use AI to identify searchers and sidestepping SEO altogether, just cutting right to the chase. And then how the dev team went to work to build that idea and get that thing dialed in. And then the test. The test is where I literally woke up with almost 700 leads. And that was the epiphany moment with, okay, I'm out. SEO's over officially. And, it's creating all the imagery, everything about this. And then I start going into I'm leading what's on the site as far as the story here. And they say there's millions of ready to buy customers flying around the internet 24/7. And it came up with this image of people in the cabin flying. And then I talk about we own the control tower and can redirect their flights to your business destination. And again, a perfect image of the control tower. Really, really cool stuff. And then see how it works. And then, the call to action here, the pay attention, the call out. This is a game changer. We monitor, identify, qualify, and deliver these high quality in market leads. And then we talk about the two types of leads, the search leads and the site leads, and the different costs for each. And then here, I'm going to create another slide because I don't have much of anything talking about site leads. So I need one more slide kind of going over how that is similar to retargeting. And that will be added in next prior to this one. Because this one's talking about the search leads, the proprietary search lead capture system. And, uses artificial intelligence algorithms to identify and qualify high intent leads. And I'll kind of go into that, talk about how we actually identify them, how we qualify them by hitting 2 pieces of relevant content, and then talk about how once we've identified them, we go to the top data centers and actually purchase their contact information. So we know it's actually good, but we don't stop there. We actually scrub it and test it for deliverability, which is how we can get such high deliverability rates. And then and only then we deliver it in real time right into a Google Doc. And it's like a crystal ball. It's like your unfair advantage having a crystal ball, looking at and being able to select your future customers, pluck them right out of thin air. And then I can talk about how this power can literally destroy your competitors. They will not have a chance against you when you're using this technology and they're not. And the fact that you're so far ahead just because you know about this, 99% of the world doesn't even know this is possible. And then here's going to be the number one question of, does it integrate into my CRM? And I'm not going in here to the fact that, you've got to integrate it. I'm basically saying it integrates into any CRM with the use of Zapier. So I'm just telling them what it does, how it does it, and you can effortlessly import these qualified leads, close deals faster than ever before. Then I talk about our integrations, our seamless integrations through our built-in APIs for Kartra, Go High Level, and SendGrid, and many more coming. So these are just the first. So if you got Kartra, you got Go High Level or SendGrid, you don't have to go through Zapier. You can just use the API and it just flows them right into your system. And now the next question is open rates, because that's what everybody wants to know. This presentation was built off of everything we know about how people react to the presentations in the past. So I put here the statement that open rates equals lead quality, because that's what everybody is questioning. What's the quality of the leads, right? And this is the indicator that these are quality leads of open rates. So we've got the next slide, and I show this for reverse mortgage, which is very competitive. And they've got 3 different emails. The first one, 17.5% opened, 100% deliverability. The second one, 97% deliverability, 20% open. Third one, 100% deliverability, 25% open. Here's one in the CPA with a 63% open rate. That's crazy. This is another one, retail sales, 28% opened. So the open rate here proves the quality of the leads. Then the next thing, is it legal? 100% legal. I'm addressing the objections before they even arise. It's CAN spam compliant as long as you follow the rules. Simple rule with CAN spam, just add your contact information and the ability to opt out, and you are 100% legal compliant for email deliverability. And then clients love it. And I'm showing that we're receiving multiple emails of people that are loving the system. I'm not going into what all the emails say and all that. If they want, they can get their magnifying glass out and read it. I'm just showing proof that we've got people that love the system and they're sending us emails to prove it. And then this one was actually a comment on my YouTube channel of this guy wanted to shut it off because he was getting leads too fast before he had a campaign ready to go. So it was like, stop the press. It works. And that's exactly what I did. I had the same thing. When I had my epiphany moment, I turned the thing on full throttle and went to sleep. I'm like, holy shit, shut it off. I get it. It works. And then we've got here, this is Gregory's thing about the Long Beach Grand Prix. 25 leads in 4 days, you know, very specific leads for people that were interested in that booster club thing. And then we've got the 3 massive benefits: light speed results, budget bliss, and complete control over the flow. The only question is, how many leads do you want today? Then we've got the 2 service options. Remember, we actually have 3, but in the webinar, I'm only opening it up with 2. I'm opening it up with corporate jet and the full airliner. The third one will come in on the 3rd round of the promo when we do the downsell to the private plane. So at this point, I don't even want them to know about the private plane. And then we've got ROI, because some people, you know, they're thinking, okay, open rates are great and client testimonials are great, but what about ROI? So we go into some ROI numbers. Here's diabetic supply. We've got cost per result of $343. Amount spent, they spent $123, and the purchase conversion is $74.78. That's a pretty good ROI. Now, we don't know the numbers of the costs involved and all that outside of the lead cost, but that's pretty good indicator that, yeah, it's definitely working. Here's the virtual reception company, 61% open rate, and they converted to $350 a month times 3, 1,050 revenue. And we're just, you know, here's another one, credit card processor, 3 sales, earns 300 per month, 900 a month. They basically did some rough numbers, and basically over the 4 years that these 3 clients will come in, that's a $42,000. You know, they added $10,000 a year from 3 customers. Lead gen company. Here's another one. $56,000 a year increase in revenue for the customer. You know, they basically generated 58,000 minus 2,500 invested in the leads. So $50 a lead was about what it took to convert. 2,500 total, generated 58,000 in revenue. Pretty good ROIs. Here's another one for turf, artificial turf. So I'm showing different industries, different results. This one, you know, 114% ROI from Troy. Here's another different study on the diabetic supply, 59 orders, 18,000 per week at a cost of $835 for the leads. Now I go into who is this for? It's for entrepreneurs that have converting funnels in place and are buying traffic. So I'm very specific about who this is for. It's for agency owners with customers buying traffic and converting it into sales and want to scale. It's for agencies looking to white label. Acquisition Air offers the ideal SaaS software to build a very lucrative business. Email marketing experience required. That is who this is for. Now, that opposes to who it's not for. If you've never bought traffic before, this is not for you. If you do not have a proven converting funnel, this is not for you. This is traffic. You are not ready for traffic. If you've never bought traffic before and you don't have a converting funnel, you're not ready for traffic. If you have those things in place and you still have no email marketing experience, this probably isn't the best tool for you. Or if you're an agency and you think you can be successful selling leads to anyone matching this criteria, no, this is not for you. So it's very specific who this product is built for. This is built for people that want to scale success. This is not built for people that don't have success. If you don't have success, you need to figure that out first before you move into traffic. This is like a fire hose for success, but you have to have success to point it at. And then we go into the bonuses. So I'm already starting off with the bonuses. I haven't even shown the pricing yet, but I talk about beta reduced pricing for the platform, the ability to lock in the price for life, reduced activation fees, and getting them used to the fact that there's an activation fee, there's a monthly fee, and they're going to get to lock in the lowest price here and get free months platform access. So I'm preceding what's to come. Then we have the retail prices, activation fees between $1,000 and $2,000 to activate. And then monthly price between $297 and $497. That's the retail. They're slashed out. You're not going to pay that. And then I bring in the link. This is the first point where I introduce the link where they could actually go buy it, because I've gotten to the point where I've eliminated all the objections. I'm making the actual offer here. You do not put your link to purchase before the actual offer in the presentation. That's a mistake, because they'll prejudge it. They'll predetermine whether they're going to buy or not without all the information. So anyway, we got the activation fee lowered from 1,000 down to 200, and here from 2,000 down to 300. And we've knocked the price down here 100 and 200 off for the monthly price, and you get to lock that in for life. Here's the limited time bonuses. We talk about the free flight school that we just actually started today. That's all going to be recorded. That's all training for using the product. We've got the exclusive membership access with all the training, all the stuff to help you be successful with us. And coming soon, lead generation certification. This is for people that like certifications. You could put the badges on your website. This can elevate your status. It's almost like writing a book to have credibility. These emblems are like status symbols. These are things that, you know, may or may not make a difference to a client, but at least you'll have them and it'll make you feel like you've got an edge. So we're going to have that. And then we've got the risk reversal here, the shark bite guarantee. Now, if you notice, that shark looks familiar. It actually took the shark right off my website and put it in a phenomenal background, which I thought was just spectacular. You got the 30-day money-back guarantee, the link once again. And then we've got the final call. Don't miss this opportunity. You've got 72 hours. 72 hours, that special pricing goes away and you've missed your opportunity to lock this in for life. So that is what Gamma created for me. I've never had a presentation that looked that nice. I've had like white background, black text, no fancy images. All these images are just absolutely beautiful. Did you guys think that the images were pretty cool? It's in the program, you can use it for free. I got the presentation, like this is a long presentation. I got the presentation like 90% done before I ran out of free credits and had to upgrade. The upgrade's like, I think it was like $10 or something to upgrade to get unlimited tokens for the AI generation stuff. And it's really, really a cool program. I do not have an affiliate link for it. I don't think they have an affiliate program yet, but it's really cool if you're making presentations. The other thing about this, notice I'm showing you this presentation live in a web browser window. You could copy that URL and send that to a client, and you could basically send them your presentation. They don't have to have PowerPoint. Because if you have a presentation, you're either PowerPoint or you're the Apple version. And if you send them one or the other and they can't read it, you're dead in the water. Here, you can just send them a link to your presentation and they can scroll through it online on any web browser. You can export it into a PowerPoint. If you want it in PowerPoint, it'll export all these as slides right into your PowerPoint deck. Pretty cool, phenomenal program. You know, it's an incredible way to leverage AI to give you a really powerful sales tool. That is a sales presentation. You know, you can call it a webinar, you can call it an evergreen. It's a sales presentation. And it's a presentation that'll make you look like $1 million instead of, you know, like Frank Kern, he always said, you know, I just use white presentations with black text, and that works for Frank because his messaging is so strong. But when you're not a Frank Kern, you might need a little help. You know, you need to look better than you are in a lot of cases. So that can help you. And also, if you're getting started, guess what? You show them a presentation like that, that doesn't look like you're a starter. That looks like you have been doing this for a while. You could take somebody that was green behind the ears and they're just as green as could be, and you could make them look like they are a superstar. They're $1 million company with a presentation like that. You know, they say fake it till you make it. Well, Gamma just made it to where you can fake it till you make it, as far as a presentation goes. So I'll be recording that. You know, I kind of gave you guys the quick walkthrough just to see how long it was going to take. And it only took about 20 minutes. I'm not about like long presentations. I'm get to the point, get in, get out. So that presentation I know now will probably take me about 20 minutes to do. I'll turn it into evergreen. I will re-invite all the people that are in my funnel now that are going to a replay that are getting nothing, and say, hey, you know, we had a mistake. The replay is now available. Here's the link to it. And I'll pipe them back into the sequence.
So John, what did you use for input to be able to create that fabulous thing?
I use the input that I got out of Perplexity. I think I showed and shared the document with you guys, how I created the marketing.
Okay.
I took the part in there where I said, I need a PowerPoint presentation. Can you give me the list of slides in the proper order?
Oh, okay.
Mid-journey prompts. That's what I plugged in as a prompt.
Excellent. Excellent.
And this is really cool. You can give it a website, you can give it like minimal information, and it will generate, it'll create this thing for you. Let me see what it says to use when you're setting up. I'm going to go to.
Hi, John. I'm Kim. I'm Linda's friend. She got me into this, and oh my goodness, I love your program, by the way. And I'm curious, did you send the document in an email, or where did you send that? Because I just popped in here.
Okay, yeah, it was sent. It was actually put into the members area.
Okay, I'll look for it.
It's in the bonus section. I put a new AI section in there, so you'll find it in there. So I'm trying to find. Okay, so this thing, I'm gonna probably have to log out to. Oh well, but anyway, when you create a new gamma, that's there it is. I found what I was looking for. Let me share this with you guys. So when you create a new gamma, this is the page it comes up with. Create with AI. How would you like to get started? You can paste in plain text. You can create from a one-line prompt in a few
Whoa.
seconds. Like you could literally say, make me a presentation on baking sourdough bread. I'll use one of Perry's great examples. Make me a presentation on baking sourdough bread, and it will create you a full presentation based on that one-line prompt. Or you can import a file. Let's say you've got an existing PowerPoint and you want to turn it into something absolutely spectacular. You just import it and cut this thing loose. And it's pretty phenomenal. And then I can go in here. It keeps your gammas here. Let's see. I don't know which is which here, but what I did once I got it to a certain point, I was terrified of losing it. So I duplicated it. So I thought, if I screw this thing up, I want to be able to fall back. So I duplicated it and created a different one. But it's really cool. Let's see over here. Let me see. Okay, so here is the builder. I'll show you the builder of how it was built and how easy it is to edit this thing. Okay, so over on the side, it's going to pop out all the slides. It's just taking it a minute to load here. There we go. So here's all the slides. If you want to move these around, it's just like PowerPoint. You can just click and drag it, and you can rearrange the order of your slides. If you want a new slide, you can add a blank card, or you can create a card with pure AI, or you can choose from a template. And when you do templates, you can choose any of these formats to create your slide. Like you can add pyramids and funnels, and you can put charts and graphs, bar charts, donut charts. It's amazing how many options there are here. If you want content with a button, you can do that. You can also you can put a YouTube video. I've never been able to figure out how to put a YouTube video in a PowerPoint presentation. I know it's easy. I know a lot of you guys have figured it out. I have not. So here it just says what video do you want? And it embeds it for you. Here it can actually embed a web page. So it's just unlimited amount of creativity here. But the thing I thought was really cool was add from AI. So I'm going to click that, and it basically generates a card, and it says describe what you would like. So you can put whatever you want in here, and it will just generate a card based on AI. So anybody got something they want to see created out of thin air?
Well, John, you said you're going to add a page. This is your perfect time to show us how to add a page. Remember?
Yeah, this is actually adding a page. I need.
Hey, John,
Yes.
do you want me to show real quick from my screen the presentation I made yesterday that took less than 10 minutes?
Yeah, that would be cool. I'm gonna just put this in here. I don't know that it's gonna understand what site AI is, but let me just change this. I need a page explaining retargeting.
And would you tell it what slide to where to put it, or just create it and then put it?
Well, it's creating it right where I said to add it in. I can move it around later. So I'm just going to create that and see what it comes up with. So it's creating an image right now.
So John, I put something in there, create mine. If you're going to, I have my title. Linda's been helping me step through some of the copy on mine. And I have a title in the chat. If you could create one page, it'd be kind of fun to see what comes out of it.
Okay, sure. What is your title?
Okay, so I put in the chat, it's called Reclaim Your Life, a program for high-powered executives. Yep.
Reclaim Your Life, a program for
Reclaim Your Life.
A program for high-powered executives.
Okay. Let's see what we get.
Woohoo!
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
May I ask, John, if that image is, let's say you're geared towards women, you could of course put that in the title, but if you don't like the image, how do you ask it to refine it, alter it?
So click on the image and go to edit the accent image. And there it will show you the prompt that it wrote. And it will show you the image it selected. So if we want to rewrite the prompt, we could put an executive woman sitting at desk. And we'll see what we get.
So you just clicked on the image? That's all you did? How easy is that?
I clicked on the image and then now we'll do generate. And it's going to give us 3. When it generates, it'll give you 3 options. So you could select any of these options. Or you can hit generate again. I mean, how cool is that?
That's really amazing.
This thing is diabolical.
Is it just slides or is it, can you make a one page, marketing slide? You know what I mean?
You could
like a flyer.
Yeah, flyer.
turn,
Thank you.
yeah, you could turn this into a PDF. Sure.
Nice.
So you can share a link too. It's pretty cool. Let's see what else you can do here. You can export. When you go to export, you can export it into a PDF. Like if you wanted to turn this into an ebook, right to PDF. You could go right to PowerPoint. It's also got analytics. If you're sharing this, you can see the analytics of who's looking at it and all that. You can also embed. If you want to embed it on your website, it'll pop it into an iframe. If you give it your FTP information, it can actually publish it right to your site for you. I mean, this thing is just incredible. This is an incredible piece of machinery right here. So this allowed me to eliminate my mental block of creating a PowerPoint presentation.
Hey, could everyone please mute themselves? There's someone talking in the background.
So pretty cool stuff here.
John, I'm sorry, I'm late. I was in a business meeting. What are you talking about? What did you I caught the tail end of your demo.
It's Gamma to create PowerPoint presentations.
Oh, wow. Is Gamma an AI tool?
Yes, you will definitely want to watch the replay on this.
Yeah, I do. Thank you, John. I appreciate you.
And Jim, yeah, you had one you wanted to share. You did one.
Yeah.
Let's see what you got.
All right. So John told me about Gamma and showed off his creation, and I was like, holy crap, I have a business networking international presentation coming up, a 10-minute presentation. So BNI 10-minute presentation, super compelling on the power and value of business coaching. What is business coaching? How does it work? Include major problems solved and goals and dreams reached. That's all I put in. Just like 3 sentences. And it came up with this outline. And then I'm in the process of actually, I'm in the process of just going through and editing, but I won't spend too much time, but literally this took me 10 minutes.
That's
And
really
like
cool.
I said, I'm in the process of making some tweaks, but it came up with this. How does business coaching work? 1, 2, 3, major problems solved. And it nailed it. Like I'm not changing anything. Goals and dreams to reach. I've been doing business coaching for 20 years. And obviously some little editing things,
Yeah.
but this literally I can have it ready to go in half hour. Testimonials, questions, and a call to action.
So Jim, did you export that from Gamma into PowerPoint?
I downloaded it onto my computer in the PowerPoint format. I guess what I can show you real quick is amount of text per card. You can do brief, medium, detailed. I chose medium. Image search, AI images, and then I just said professional and friendly, and it came up with all the images. So the input is really minimal. And
Jim,
John in several calls has gone through how to do the prompts so that it gets you exactly what you want and in what order.
Jim, how did you just add your testimonials or did it generate
It
testimonials?
generated testimonials, and I'm customizing them to real life stories.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Thank you.
Very, very nice. So, yeah, if presentations that's where you make your offers. If you guys are in the creation process, if you are to that point, this thing will, even if you're doing a membership site and you need to do videos, like in ACT is loaded with training videos. My training videos, I know you guys have been through them. They're white on with black text. They don't look very pretty. The content is worth millions of dollars, but they don't look like it. So I could go back through, I could load those PowerPoints up into this and just have it recreate my whole ACT training, which I'm going to do pretty soon here anyway. The ACT training's been around for probably close to 10 years now. And the thing about the training itself is it's absolutely timeless. Everything that you learn inside there has been the same for the last 100 years. It's not going to change anytime soon because it's about communicating with humans. The difference is in your process as a business owner, you now have tools to leverage to help you create that communication with AI. So I just need to update it and revamp it of, how to do the ACT program with the power of AI. And that will make it far superior to what it is now. I mean, it's great as is, but it requires some effort. And that has been the biggest complaint of people that went through it was, oh my God, this is a lot of work. Having to dig in and figure out who your market is, segment your market, figure out your avatar, figure out their wants and dreams, their fears. There's a lot of work in that analysis piece. That A of ACT is probably 75% of the work. And that's a big hurdle to get through. And you really literally cannot move into the creation process until you've got that done. I mean, you can, but you won't be very effective. You'll fail. You'll struggle and fail if you do that. So the A is really the cornerstone of any marketing project. If you don't do it, if you shortcut it, you're shortcutting your success. The creation process is now the taking everything you've learned in the analysis piece and creating effective communication to the person that you want to communicate to. And then the T is traffic. It's bringing eyeballs onto that messaging, the right eyeballs. And you learn who the right eyeballs are in the analysis process. So everything you do in the whole marketing schema is all based on that analysis. And the AI is phenomenal at doing that. Like Kim, you were asking about the document I was talking about. That was a document where I actually used AI to do almost the entire analysis process in a few minutes, effortlessly. It was like just a series of questions that I asked it. One led to another, and it basically created all of the analysis. And at that point, now the AI bot has learned what your product is, who your market is, who's the most profitable, and it gives you all of their demographics, their psychographics, tells you what they want, why they want it, all the demographics and psychographics that you could possibly ever want. And then now I'm not really doing that for my own purpose. I'm doing that to train the machine for what I'm about to ask it next. Now that I know it understands my product, my market, my ideal customer, and everything about them, the next thing I'm going to ask it is, what is the best way for me to communicate the value of the product to create demand and desire within this ideal customer? And now it's going to write the marketing program for me. It's going to go in and it's going to do the creation process on autopilot. Way better than I could ever do it, and way faster. Like I could spend a month creating a marketing campaign, whereas I did it in under an hour using this process. And that's where I gave you guys the script for what I did. Every question I asked it, every answer it gave me. And the really interesting thing was I started asking it questions I've never asked before. Like when I said, what's the best way to penetrate this market? And it gave me, the thing. I ask it, what else am I missing? What other things should I be thinking about? And it threw out a quiz. Said you should have a quiz to identify their pain point and let them self-discover it, which is something I've always done. All of my presentations are about walking a prospect through a self-discovery process so they could understand their own pain and put a spotlight on it. Because as a salesperson or a presenter or whatever, as a business owner, if you go to another business owner trying to sell them your product and you just point out all of their faults and all the things they've done wrong, that's not really a good platform to start from, building trust and rapport with them. But walking them through a guided tour so they can discover it on their own and look to you as the one that helped them identify it, now you're a trusted source. Now you are you're elevated. You're now their consultant, and they're going to ask your advice. That's a much different place to make a presentation from. That's a much different place to make an offer from. That's a way to get a yes, surefire. So that's what this thing is doing. And it said, yeah, create a quiz. So then I said, well, what would be the perfect quiz? And it wrote the whole thing for me. It wrote the questions, it wrote the answers, it wrote the scoring system and the output of, like, if they do good, if they do mediocre, or if they do badly on the quiz score. And it's really cool because when they do badly, what I was trying to do, I was creating a marketing campaign for Acquisitionaire. So what it was trying to do, it was trying to separate people. If they're the ideal customer, it's going to make them the offer to watch the webinar for Acquisitionaire. If they do mediocre or poor on the quiz, it's not going to sell them something they don't need. They're not ready for it yet. So what it's going to do, it's going to offer them the ACT program. It's going to say, I can clearly see you need help with your marketing. Here's the perfect solution for you. Here's a way you can get a full understanding of your market. You can learn how to create demand and desire for your product within that market. You can learn how to overcome any objections and make the perfect offer. And Linda calls that the perfect pitch. So it's a way to lead them up to giving them the perfect pitch and getting them to say yes and become a sale, turning a prospect into a customer. So that's what I want. I want to flood people through that form or through that quiz and let them self-discover they got a problem and then offer them the solution. And I'm like, that is freaking brilliant. That's genius. And I didn't have to think of it. I just had to ask the question of, what am I missing? What else should I do? And it told me. In fact, it gave me a list of 10 things. I just picked that one. I go, I really like the quiz idea. Could you help me formulate that? And it spit the whole thing out for me. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. This is just too easy. This is literally just too easy. And this is what all business owners struggle with. How do I sell my stuff? Who do I sell it to? Well, most of them don't even worry about that. They just they think everybody's a buyer. They think everybody is going to buy their stuff, and they wind up becoming a nuisance because they're talking to people that have no interest whatsoever, and they just want them to get away from them. And that's no way to go through life. You want to talk to people that are genuinely interested and that you can help, and they value you because of that. You're there to help them, and they want to talk to you. So,
John, I've been wrestling with the whole presentation thing too. And quite frankly, with the stuff that you're bringing here, I don't know how anybody else in the world is going to compete. If you can have a bright idea, run it through the program, you can have a bright idea and be sending emails before the end of the day. There's no way. Oh, let's see. I think someone once said that the internet loves speed, money loves speed. This looks like it just dropped everything into warp drive. I'm having trouble even formulating the correct dialogue to describe what's going on here. This is mind blowing. You mix this with what you put together here, John. If everybody on this isn't a millionaire well, by 2030, you better be billionaires, quite frankly. Hey guys, I did the math. It only takes 3,000 XRP to hit $1 billion if it goes to 125K, like John says. So there's no reason everybody here shouldn't. If you have $1,500, go buy 3,000 XRP because it's 52 cents a day, and you'll be a billionaire by 2030 if what Janet Yellen posted and took down is true.
Well, I want to add on to this. So I'm new and I just have been taking your course I went through the whole thing, like you said, and then I'm down to the market analysis. This whole space has been the space that I've been missing. I have gotten so clear on exactly who my segments are, what I'm actually producing. I have these shows and all my masterminds, and I've been like, oh yeah, I'm really good at putting all that stuff together. But this piece is brilliant. It's golden. And I really appreciate you, John, because I am getting it. I'm not all the way through it, but I am totally getting every single piece, and I'm just doing the work. And, by the end of this week, I will have a very clear view of my avatar and start getting my pages out on Kartra. So it's amazing.
Yeah, it really is. It is a process. I wish I had actually developed it myself. I am just basically taking a formula or a system that's been going on for 100 years, and I turned it into little formulas. Like I broke everything down into, most of them are 3-step processes. Almost everything. It's almost like it was a part of nature, that 3 steps to what you want. And it walks all the way through ACT. Everything, it seems like everything in there, what I can break down comes down to 3 steps.
Yeah, and I would say that what was an eye opener for me was having to put the money down on what it looks like, my North Star that's been in my head for the last, it's like in 5 years, this is what I'm gonna look like. Putting the dollar amounts down, it's like, oh my,
Yeah.
really? You know? So
Yeah.
it's really very, very good to do all these exercises. It's amazing.
Yeah, yeah. I think what you're talking about there is the thing I make everybody do first is go through what their ideal life looks like and what it costs. Because when I first created the ACT program, I didn't have that piece in it. It was just it just went right straight into the marketing. And the first group of people that I ran through it, I was looking for feedback, and the feedback I got from some very smart people was, this is a lot of work. And nobody is going to do that much work unless they understand what the carrot looks like of what it's going to get them on the other side. So that was where I took a step back and I said, okay, I need something in the beginning of this for, number one, to suspend disbelief. Because most people don't believe they can get anything they want. Most people they're not raised that way. They're wired differently. They're wired that money doesn't grow on trees. They're wired that you got to save money for a rainy day. I wasn't wired that way. I was wired of, you can have whatever you want. You just have to figure out how to get the money to do it. I was taught that as a very, very early age, and I've followed that my entire life. Anything I've ever wanted, I've had with that formula. So that suspending disbelief is a big thing, because with most people raised that way of, money doesn't grow on trees, they don't think they can have it. They don't think they deserve it. And what that little game that I play of add up what your ideal life looks like, and let's put a number on it. How much does it cost per month to live your dream? And I tell them, I go, don't throw everything out the window. If money was no object, what would you want? Where would you live? What would you drive? How many times a week would the masseuse show up? Would you have a private chef? I don't care. Just put a number on it. What's your ideal life cost? And then once you have that number, usually it's a really astronomical number for most people. And they look at it and go, well, that's not even possible, because of the way they're wired. But what I'm doing is I'm rewiring you right then and there to show you that it is possible, and it's just math. Because then we look at that number and we divide that into the profit and whatever you're selling. And now we come up with a new number of how many units you have to move to live that life. And all of a sudden now it went from an impossibility to a reality. And what is going to create that reality for you is your ability to move that number of products. And what's going to do that is marketing. Marketing is the thing that's going to do the heavy lifting for you. And you don't have to do sales. You don't have to be out beating the bush selling stuff. You have to create an automated marketing campaign that will do that for you. It's the unique mechanism that delivers the result of the desired outcome that you want. And at that point, now you're faced with a new reality of, holy shit, all I have to do is build this marketing campaign. I just need to get this right. And here's all the tools and sequences to do that, right, laid out in front of me. So it's a way that I could rewire and reframe you before you even went into doing the hard work. Because it is work. And if you don't understand why you're doing the work, you're probably not going to do it. You'll do it so far, and then you'll lose track of why you're there, and you'll just give up on it. And that will help you not give up. So, but it's not that hard. It's a lot of work, but I don't really truly believe that anything I'm asking you guys to do in the ACT program is hard. I don't think any of it is hard. There's a lot, it's tedious, it's if nothing else, it's mind numbing to do all of that stuff. But now with AI, and another thing that gets in a lot of people's way is excuses. Like, the reason I didn't create that PowerPoint presentation sooner was nothing more than excuses I was fabricating to keep me from doing it because I didn't want to. Because the mental block was I didn't want to look bad. I'm like, I'm coming out with such a good thing here. I don't want to look bad doing it. So I was like literally coming up with things to do. I was creating busy work. With any of you guys know me, you know work is not my thing. So for me to be creating busy work just so I didn't have to do something is unheard of for me. And that's what I found was happening. So it was really a blessing in disguise to find that Gamma program. I'm like, oh my God, I have no excuse now. I can do something and it'll make me look good. Problem solved, excuses gone, get on with it. And it was literally done. It was done like within a couple of hours. And it was done the way I need to do things, which is on deadline. Whenever I've done, like you guys have heard me talk about this for a long time, is I leverage other affiliates, people that have built lists of people that are my ideal customer, and I sign them up as an affiliate. I get them to promote me. I get them to put me on and endorse me to their audience, and I do a presentation. In almost every case, I have created that presentation the night before, sometimes literally an hour before, and it's fresh in my head and I do it flawlessly. But it's always down to the last hour, when I'm doing that. And here I didn't have a deadline. I didn't really have a true hard date because we were just doing this for an evergreen replay. So it allowed me an unlimited amount of time to stretch it out. So I had Brady and Connie on a call last week, and they said, like, they're waiting on this thing. I'm the holdup here. And they're like, come on, when are you going to get this? And I'm like, and I told them, how I work on deadlines, and Brady threw out, all right, well, Monday at noon is your deadline. That's when we want this thing. So I'm like, all right, fair enough. I will have it Monday morning. And it wasn't until Sunday night. I think I had texted Connie about, I don't know, it was probably 9 o'clock Sunday night. I'm like, okay, I'm just starting on it. And within a couple hours, like, holy shit, it's done and it's beautiful. So there was just a couple of things I had to add in, like the all the testimonial and case study stuff. I had to do a little extra work on that, but that was a piece of cake. So with these tools, they eliminate all of your excuses. Like a big excuse for a lot of people is, I don't have a skill in that. Like copywriting, perfect example. I'm not a copywriter. Well, now you are. If you have Perplexity and you know how to talk to it, you are a copywriter now. You are a top dog copywriter. Another excuse is, I don't know graphics. I'm not graphically oriented. I couldn't save my life to make graphics. No longer an excuse. You're a top dog graphic artist with AI. Anything, any skill set that you need that you don't have, AI is there to give it to you. So it's literally like there's a magic wand, crowning you on the head saying, you're now a graphic artist, you're now a copywriter, you're now a marketer, you're now successful. And all you have to do is pick up that magic wand and believe in it and start using it, because it really does have those powers. So just a matter of fact there. You don't have any more excuses. And the other thing, I see a lot of people that have something, like I see this a lot in masterminds. I've belonged to several different masterminds, and people will go into a mastermind with an idea. They have not done any research. They've not done any analysis. They don't even know if this market exists. They'll go in with the idea, and the whole mastermind will cheer them on and say, that's great. I would do that. You should do that. And they encourage them to make mistakes. And it's like, I see that and it makes me cringe. It's like, here's a person that is standing on the edge of a cliff, getting ready to jump. And they don't know if they have a parachute on, and they don't know if there's water at the bottom, and they don't know if there's a mattress down there or if it's jagged rock. But they're standing there getting ready to jump, and here's a group of people encouraging them. Go, I'd do that. Go for it. It's like, that is batshit crazy, in my opinion. That is absolutely batshit crazy. And I see that over and over and over in masterminds. And then, they'll ask the opinion of the mastermind group that is not their ideal customers. And they're building their marketing based on the opinion of not the right people. And again, you're standing on a cliff and getting encouraged to jump over the edge. So using AI, you have the ability to ask the AI. Stop asking people that are not your ideal customer. Figure out who your ideal customer is and leverage the power of AI to figure out how to talk to them. Figure out if your messaging is right. Figure out if you're doing the right thing. It will tell you and help you. So it's not going to encourage you to jump off a cliff and die at the bottom of it. It's going to protect you and prevent you from that. So that's what you just want to be careful of who you listen to, who you get advice from. Make sure if you're trying to base a decision on your business on your customers, make sure you're asking your customers, not people that are not your customers. They will give you different answers. And if you want the right ones, you need to ask the right people. So that's very important. The cool thing about AI is it understands your customers. So you could literally ask it. Again, that's another reason why people don't ask their customers is, oh, well, I don't want to bother them. I'm shy, whatever. So they don't do it. They don't want to impose. Well, with the AI, you don't have to worry about any of that. Just ask away. It'll tell you anything you want to know. So Russ, go ahead.
Hey, John. Did you say that the Gamma AI tool that you showed, was that from Perry Belcher's mastermind?
Yes, they didn't actually show it or demo it. It was somebody that was on stage rattling off. They were doing like the top tools.
Okay.
And I heard that and I'm like, oh, I could use that. So I wrote it down. But I hadn't seen it until I actually pulled it up. They didn't show it or anything. It was just mentioned.
You have any other top tools that you'd like to mention?
Oh, I got a beauty. I have not had a chance to play with, but I did get to see a little bit of a demo at Perry's event. And it was a program very similar to Gamma. But what this program does is it creates motion picture, like video, but not video like what we're used to. We're talking about award-winning video, cinematography. Like, if you want, let's say, you guys familiar with movie trailers? Like you see a movie trailer and it's like the best of what's in that movie, and it just makes it look absolutely spectacular in 30 seconds. That's what this thing does. And it does it based on a prompt.
So with the Gamma, is there something that you would use to put audio to that when you're done, the PowerPoint?
You could do that. There was a program. Here's another one I have not had a chance to play with yet, but it's an audio program called Speechify. And from what I've heard, again, I haven't had a chance to play with it, so I can't give it a firsthand endorsement, but it's supposedly better than 11 Labs. And most of the people that were doing this stuff on a high level were always touting 11 Labs as being the best. So Speechify is supposedly better than 11 Labs. And that's for creating voice clones, doing text to voice, all of that kind of stuff. So you could literally, if you didn't want to do the presentation yourself, you could have all the graphics done. You could lean on Gamma to create the visual part of the presentation. Then you could go back to Perplexity and show Perplexity the PowerPoint presentation that you're going to do and say, I need a script for this. I need the script word for word, line for line, exactly how this presentation should be played out. And it could give you the text. Then you could take that text over to Speechify and say, give me the voice. Let's make this thing come to life. And you could either clone a voice that you were familiar with, that you liked. They have a lot of voices already done. Like I think Morgan Freeman is a voice that's in there. So how would you like to have Morgan Freeman narrate your presentation for you? That would be pretty freaking cool, right? So you could literally just have AI do the whole thing for you. You don't even have to be seen. You could just like disappear. You don't even have to be known ever. You could create characters to represent your company, like a lot of companies do. You know, a lot of companies, you don't know who the owner is. You don't know who's behind the brilliance, but there's always a guy, you know, like Carl's Jr., you know, you've got, oh, what's his name? Carl Karcher. You know, very few people know that Carl Karcher is the Carl's Jr. guy. You know, or you've got, you know, with McDonald's, there was the two McDonald's brothers that were very shy, never really knew what to do, and just stayed in the shadows. And then Ray Kroc came in and became the brilliance behind McDonald's and the marketing and all that. And he wound up screwing the McDonald's brothers out of the whole thing. But Ray Kroc, and, you know, if you ask anybody, you know, who owns McDonald's, very few would tell you, oh, this Ray Kroc. That's not common knowledge. So you don't have to be out in the public eye. You can be behind the scenes pulling the strings. So the program that I was talking about to create these animated videos, it's like one of the coolest things. They showed a demo at Perry's thing about creating a Pixar style animated video. You guys know what Pixar is? It's like the Walt Disney style video. And they showed a simple prompt that created like a 30-second Pixar style video to promote a company. And I'm like, you've got to be shitting me. That's $1 million production.
John, what's the name of that program? We're asking in the chat.
I'm going to show it to you. Let me find it here. Okay, so let me see if I can find it first. It'd be a real bummer if I couldn't find it, wouldn't it? All right, here we go. It's called Pika. It's PIKA.art, A-R-T. Video on command. And it's like, it will create these style videos out of a prompt. Like crazy stuff. Like that's not a real person there. That's not a real rabbit either. It created all this out of a prompt. And you can give it your script. You can give it like, you can go in and have ChatGPT or Perplexity write you a screenplay of what the scenes look like and what happens, and you know, like the lighting and all of that stuff. You don't have to know how to do any of that. You just give it like what you want and let it write the script for you. Now you've got the prompt to come in here and plug it into Pika and let Pika create this thing for you. It's like pretty crazy stuff. So you can do text to video, you can do image to video, you can do video to video. you can literally plug in whatever you want to start with and let this thing turn it into an animated creation. Like this is, what did it say? Raccoon. It's gonna raccoon trying to catch a burrito in space. Like whatever you want. It'll create it for you. Like pretty crazy stuff. And it, again, if you don't like the output, you just change the text, just change the script. That's what they're doing here. It's basically a woman walking, and then it's changing in the desert, in a rainforest, on water, on a Chinese bridge in Paris. They're just changing the script slightly and changing the output radically. Denim top, black leather top. That's putting in video and just telling it how to change it. Like, I'm telling you, like, the sky's the limit here. You do lip sync videos, you can bring stuff to life, does sound effects. Look at this, it'll expand the canvas. Like it will create a scene around whatever you've got. If you just have a little piece, say, what's the rest of the scene look like? And it'll create it for you.
Interjection here on the impact of what's going to happen to production companies. Tyler Perry just stopped an $800 million studio development in Atlanta, in Atlanta once he started seeing AI exploding this past January, February.
Yeah.
$800 million just stopped.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, this stuff is stunning. Some of the stuff, like, you don't have to have bright, brilliant colors, but that, to me, that's what attracts me, is bright, brilliant colors. I don't like dull, muted, mundane stuff. But stuff like this grabs my attention. I'm like, that's just beautiful. And that is so far beyond my skill set, but now I own it. I can be a video.
Is there a time length? I mean, how long a video will these things create?
It depends on how much you want to pay it, just like anything else. So let's go and see. Here's pricing. So the basic, you get 250 initial credits. Let's see. You get lip sync, audio. So a lip sync requires 2 credits. You're getting 250. You get to download. Here's 700 credits. For 28 bucks a month, it looks like you get unlimited, pretty much everything. Here for 58, you get unlimited lighting generations, infinite credits for 60 bucks a month. You can be a video production company for $60 a month.
So consider this, guys. You get your script ready, you go to Perplexity, polish it up, then you come here and pay $58, get your movie done in 30 days, stop your subscription, and now you have a $60, you have a movie done at $60 and plus whatever the other cost might cost you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty crazy stuff. So there's a couple of tools that, I've been telling you guys, you have unlimited power if you can't see it now. I'm not sure where to go from here. I've been working on a document from Perry's event. After the event, I had a lot of stuff to churn through, but I'm creating a Word doc that I'll put up in the ACT program for you guys that has all the tools. I've just shown you a couple. It's got all of them. And it's like for anything you want to do. And I've been talking about this since Perry's last event prior to this one, that I want to do some like 2 and 3 day trainings where a small group of us just sit down and just work on stuff. just figure some shit out together. And, ideally on the boat over sitting in a cove at Catalina, it would be really cool. So I'm going to be working on putting some of those dates together for anybody that's interested in that kind of thing. And just, really take this stuff to the next level and create some magic. You can see how that could be very beneficial. So, Mr. McLean.
Hey there, John. Hey, everyone. Boy, isn't it nice to be among friends and like what is the phrase? You used it a few times. Your income is determined by the income of the people you hang around. And so I'm just saying, I'm grateful to not only to John, but look at all the people asking questions, inquisitive minds. Here's how I use it. Jim gave that beautiful demonstration. Because, when John does it, we go, oh, that's pretty great. When Jim does it, we go, he's a smart guy, but maybe I can do it. So it is just really nice to be in this group. So,
Yeah, I mean,
um,
literally, what Jim is, he's an action taker. He's not
yeah,
going to just go, oh, that was cool. He's going to say, oh, let me try that.
Well, I'm gonna tell the truth. I'm lazy too, but the week of my BNI presentation, it's in 2 weeks. I'm going camping up in Tahoe, so I had to come up with something fast. But yeah, if I can
yeah,
do it, anybody can do it. And
yeah,
that 10 minutes included the time setting up my account.
yeah. Wow. Um, well, what I wanted to say real quick, let me turn that timer off, is two things real fast. Is number one, just to give some perspective on this, y'all remember like 2, 3 years ago, the cool kid on the block was Doodly. Remember how you could put in a script and that hand would, draw out a black and white cartoon images on a white background?
Yeah.
And
A
I remember,
superhero.
yeah, we're thinking, oh, that's gonna sell a lot of product. That's so cutting edge. And jump ahead 3 years. So just to give perspective. But my question is, John, is a few minutes ago, you were talking about the narration and the narration software, and you could create your PowerPoint. If you didn't want to narrate it, you could drop it in. Is that where when it makes a narration, does it just read the actual text, or does it create some other type of narration to walk through the PowerPoint?
Well, it's going to create the voice.
Okay,
So it's going to do text to voice. You can also do voice to voice. Like,
okay,
for instance, if you knew how you wanted it narrated, but you didn't want it in your own voice, you
yes,
could
okay,
actually record your own voice with all the enunciations, all the
yeah.
pauses, all the emphasis, all the excitement, and then it will clone the other voice on top of yours.
Okay, that's cool. I just want to make sure, like, but it will narrate the actual text that's in. Just like when you walked us through, you were reading from the. I know this is a small minor point, but you were reading from the actual text in the PowerPoint, which is just fine. But that's what it translates. It doesn't come up with a new
No.
script to walk. Okay, all right. It was just that.
When you're
Yeah,
doing voice stuff, it's if you're doing text to voice specifically, it's literally just taking what you give it and it's creating that voice. Like when I created Becky, the first
yeah.
Becky person doll, whatever you want to call her,
Hmm.
I gave it a script. I had Chat GPT write me the script and I pumped it in and then it turned it into her voice. And then we did
Hmm.
her voice on top of the lip sync video of her image. And she literally came to life.
Got it. And so that text is just the text then that's in the PowerPoint
Yes.
that,
Yeah.
okay, got it.
Because
Yeah,
if you let it run off the rails, Becky could become a very bad girl. She could say things you don't want her to say. So
yeah,
that would not be in your best interest. Now, if at some point there's going to be talking bots, and the talking bots will basically, bring voice to life in answering of your questions. And at that point, you don't really know what they're going to say. So
okay.
That's a different animal right there.
Okay. Yep, that makes perfect sense. So we just get the text right, or rather, we work with. See, isn't that funny? The different phrase. Instead of we get the text right, we work with AI to come up with effective text. And once we have that in the body of our PowerPoint, it will walk someone through that in a voice we choose. Okay, thanks.
Yep. Yep. It's pretty cool stuff. I mean, it really eliminates any objection that you could potentially throw at me for why you're not creating fabulous marketing materials. There literally is no reason whatsoever at this point. You've got the ACT program that gives you all the foundation of what you need to do, and you've got all the tools to actually do it for you. You have to know what you need first, though. That's why the ACT program is such a critical foundational base, that you understand what you need to do. And then now with all these tools to be able to do that for you, ACT is giving you the language so you can ask for what you need. So putting them together is just like, it's the ultimate power I could possibly ever hand you guys. And Perry was basically coming across with the same stuff. Perry doesn't have the ACT program. Perry is Perry, and Perry is really good, but there's no way to clone Perry. You know, Perry is who he is, and, you know, good luck trying to be a Perry. What I've done is I've taken all the stuff that made Perry great and put it into a program so you can make yourself great. You don't need to be a Perry. You need to be a you, but you need to be as great as Perry is. That's what the ACT program does for you. And now with all of these tools, see, Perry's throwing all the tools out for you. And Perry is coming off on stage saying, hey, with all these tools, if you guys can't make it here, he goes, I don't know what to tell you. He goes, if you can't make it with the tools I'm handing you, then God help you. You need to probably just go work for somebody. And, you know, that's where he's got his old adage of what his daddy used to tell him, that the world needs ditch diggers too, son. And, you know, that's a rude, harsh reality, but you guys are here because you want more out of life. You don't want to be ditch diggers. You want to rule the world, and you have access to the tools and the training to do it. So that's what he's trying to get across, and he's being really harsh in the way he's doing it, but he's making a good point. You know, with what you have at your disposal, at your fingertips right now, it's a very unique time in the world. And most people don't have this. 99.9% of the world does not know what I just told you today. It gives you an incredible advantage, and it gives you an incredible amount of power to do what you want to do and get what you want to get out of life. And it won't last forever. You know, slowly over time, more and more people are going to figure this out, and you will have competition. And what you have now is you have that advantage of being first to the bowl. And when you're first to the bowl, it's eat all you want. But like I said, I'm not a graphics person. I'm not a this, I'm not a that. So with these tools, I have the ability to be that. But think about later on when somebody comes up behind me that is a graphics person and does know that thought process and has that imagination that I don't have. Think of what they'll be able to do with these tools. They'll be able to kick my ass all day long. You know, I'll still be light years ahead of most people, but right now I can be the top of the pile. I'm the only dog at the bowl eating. And that's where you guys are. If you use this, you're going to be the only dog at the bowl eating. And it's all you want. You know, there's businesses out there that are willing to pay to have this stuff done. So there's no reason that anyone should be out of work right now. With the tools and a ability to do what you guys can do using these tools, there's no reason that you should be lacking for anything, really. If I had nothing, if you just took everything away from me, I could pick up one of these tools like Gamma or Pika or any of these things. And I guarantee you, I would find somebody that would pay me handsomely to provide the skill of what those tools give me all day long. I would not go hungry. So it's just a matter of, if you're self-motivated, if you're an entrepreneur, if you are cut from the cloth of not ever wanting to work for somebody, you have an incredible advantage right now with these tools. So I hope you guys know that. I hope you take that to heart and take advantage of it and use it. And if you're lost or struggling, that's what we're here for, to get you over it. So, I mean, is there anybody here that like is feeling grim, like they have no bright future with what's going on? Anybody feel threatened by AI? Like, AI is not a threat, it's a gift. It's like, I could have seen Photoshop as a threat when it destroyed the business that I had. Like, when I was a commercial photographer, when I was in that bubble and I was getting paid $3,500 a day, I thought that was the greatest career ever. I thought that was the best time of my life. I didn't think it would ever get any better than that. And then along came Photoshop, which was nothing more than a technology. It was a new technology, and I saw it. I'm like, oh shit. The writing is on the wall. What I do is about to disappear. And, was that a threat? It was a reality for certain. And because what I used to do doesn't exist anymore. Special effects photography is long gone. It doesn't even exist. It's all digitized. But what that did was it took something away from me that was my livelihood. It destroyed it. But what it did was opened up a door of opportunity to something I'd never had, which was residual income. It forced me into the internet. I discovered a better way, even though I couldn't see it at the time, but it forced me in. And that's what this is going to do. Yeah, AI is going to end a lot of careers. It's going to end a lot of jobs. And you could take it as a threat, but what it's going to do, it's going to open up an infinite amount of opportunity for people that didn't have it yesterday. Like, for instance, for me to become a master filmmaker, how many years, how much money would that take?
And even if you spent the time, John, if you don't have the skill or the eye, it won't make a difference. There is literally wiring that's hardwired in so that you are better at your gifts than you are at things that aren't your gift. And like they say, don't waste your time trying to build up your strengths. Invest the time in where your strengths are, because that's where it's going to go.
Yeah. And your strengths are now almost anything you want. Like, with all these tools to be able to build stuff on the fly out of thin air using AI has far more imagination than you ever will. I mean, I got a pretty damn good imagination, but it's nothing compared to AI. And it's even like when you go into Midjourney and you're using the Midjourney, your prompt begins with imagine. You're literally telling the AI to imagine what I'm going to tell you looks like. Create it out of thin air. You're using its imagination. You're not imagining it. You're not saying create what I have imagined. You're commanding the machine to imagine. And then you're going to tell it what to imagine, and you're using its imagination to create the image. its imagination is amazing. So it's the same thing with the videos. It's the same thing with the PowerPoint presentations. You're using the creativity and all the knowledge and everything that's all wrapped up in that machine to output a product for you that's just beyond most of our capabilities. So we get to ride on the coattails of giants right now. It's like, you know, you can be the best of the best of the best at almost anything you want to do in your marketing for your business right now. So we didn't have that just even 6 months ago. Some of the tools were here, but we didn't really even know how to deal with them. You know, like the whole prompting thing. I had told you guys, like I wrote that book on AI 4 years ago. And I talked about how important prompting was going to be in the future. I said, that's going to be it. The people that learn how to prompt this machine are going to rule the world. I said that 4 years ago. And during the last 4 years, I have come to learn how to prompt. And that's what I've shared. Every time I update the AI book, I put in the new prompts I'm using now, and they're far superior to what I started with. So the people that get to understand this machine, this AI machine, and how to talk to it, how to get it to do what they want it to do, that's going to rule the world. So anyway, pretty cool stuff. Anybody, Chris, you got your hand up? Is that again, or you got a new thing for us?
I don't. I was just exercising my hand, so I'll take it down now. Thank you.
Getting a little exercise. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else got anything you want me to cover, touch on? Jeff.
I see Jeffrey.
Yeah, Jeff, go ahead.
I've got a commercial that I could share that I created using one of the AI tools.
Oh, I'd love to see it. Yeah, share your screen. Let's see what you got.
Okay, let me.
Hey, Jeff, was this your first creation?
No. No, and it's part of a series of tinkering with this.
It's amazing how tinkering with this is like a master skill set in most people's world.
So yeah, and what I was doing is using the chats to work on crafting script. I uploaded the book that I wrote and released last summer. Had Claude do a summary of it, then used that summary to generate some different scripts for different length commercials and sales letters. And this was one of the clips that was generated from that.
Cool. Yeah, like anytime you've got a product or a service or something, imagine creating like a movie trailer for your product to grab people's attention. How cool would that be? Most business owners can't afford to do that.
Yeah. Is that showing? Oh,
Yep.
wait a minute.
Yep.
Wait, I need to back up. I failed to
Make
make
sure
sure
you
that
hit the
exactly.
audio.
Yeah, I just thought about that. I go, wait, I didn't double check on the audio. I mean, oh, you actually want to hear it too. Okay, here we go.
In a world where manufacturing is the lifeblood of the economy, one company teeters on the edge of collapse. Dwayne's tried everything. During their weekly executive meeting, he reveals the financials aren't improving. With these numbers, he doesn't see any other choice. The factory has to be closed. For Dwayne, it's not just a business. Growing up in a modest housing project created a burning desire in Dwayne, a need to create a way out, to end the cycle of despair. Years of scraping and fighting to build his company have been about protecting his family. It's not just a business. It's 180 families, 180 futures on the line. How could Dwayne live with failing them? Then, a colleague suggested a possible solution. Someone claiming his factory could become so profitable It would be insane to close it. And it could be demonstrated in 30 days. 30 days? Dwayne was more than skeptical. He and his team already tried everything. He didn't see how it could be done. But Dwayne still refused to let his dreams die, to see his kids through college, to retire debt-free, to travel with his wife, as they've always planned, to make sure his employees had jobs and could achieve their dreams too. He was shocked at the guarantee offered. If the results aren't achieved, he doesn't pay anything. Just a 30-day challenge, and no capital investments. Since he had already decided the factory will close truly, there was nothing to lose and everything to gain. He seizes the challenge. Day by day, the factory begins transforming. Productivity spikes. Profit margins soar. Customers line up, eager for the boost to their own bottom line. Employees are showing up early, like a team of champions. A month later, Dwayne announces, with great relief and even a few tears of joy, the factory is here to stay. The strategies that saved Dwayne's factory, they're available to business owners like you, ready to be adapted to your business. Perform or perish. The 30-day race to save a company. Your secret weapon for growth in these uncertain times. For a limited time, claim your free copy. Just cover shipping and uncover the manufacturing miracle for yourself. But hurry, only the first 100 business owners will get this exclusive offer. Claim your new competitive advantage. Click the button below now. In a world where manufacturing companies face
Very cool. Yeah, I mean, that was, did you use NVIDIA for that, or what did you use?
Yes, in video.
Yeah. So you've got NVIDIA for video, you got Pika for full-blown movies, you got Gamma for presentations. But notice his was not just a promo video, it had a pitch in it. It had an actual call to action. And I know the book isn't, you know, ultimately what he's going to sell them, but that's getting him into his process. And when they pay for shipping, they've actually purchased your product. There's a big difference between somebody that will pay for anything and just take something for free. If you give them something for free, that puts them on one level. When they pay to get the free thing delivered to them, that changes the relationship and changes the dynamic between the two of you radically. They've moved from a prospect to a customer. Even though they haven't bought your product, they just paid for shipping. They are now a customer. You have their credit card and they've paid you for it. So that shift allows you to make another sale very quickly, very easily. I don't know about Jeff's funnel, but in a lot of the stuff where they're giving them the free book and, you know, pay for the shipping, when they do that, they've got their credit card in, the deal is done, the deal is sealed. There's generally an upsell to buy more. You know, that is usually the next step, is the purchase or the offer to purchase more.
And I have a question about that, if I could.
Uh-huh.
Because I wondered two things. The plan with that was then to take them to a Frank Kern style book, the book funnel that he set up in Kartra.
Okay.
So I was okay with that, but the other question I had in reviewing it, I was looking and going, am I making the wrong sale at the wrong time? Do I need to have a different version of this that makes them want to go to this video to get this information first? Is really the first sale the, hey, a quick hit. Yeah, I want to hear more about that. Boom. Now they've clicked on that, then they hit this video.
Yeah, that falls back to your ascension ladder. They call it an ascension ladder. It's like, of all the products that they're going to get from you, what order do they consume them in? So you wouldn't want to jump, you know, you would want to bring them into that order. A lot of times, like the ascension ladder will have small steps in the beginning and then very large steps at the end. Like you might go from a free thing to a $7 tripwire to a, you know, a $27 or a $97, and then you might bring them into a paid event at anywhere from 197 to 497. And from there, you can go to a $2,000 product offer. And then from the $2,000 product offer, you either go to a done for you that's typically really expensive, or to an elite training. And usually that jump is from 2,000 to 10,000 and up. And in some cases it's, 25 or 50 grand. And it just depends on the value of what they're getting. Obviously somebody's not going to pay 50 grand for a training on, how to blow up balloons. It's going to have to be a real high value thing for them to pay that much.
So it was just, do I, should my first sale be going right to the book like this does? Or, and the answer they had in my mind was, yeah, we'll test that and find out what works better. Or
Yeah,
is the first sale selling them on a click to get tease them the information that they're going to see in that?
Yeah, the book offer is a good opener. That's a good tripwire. Paying for the shipping has been proved out in marketing across a lot of different people and a lot of different platforms. So you've obviously proved there is good value in the book, attaching it to the 30-day program to save a business like that. So for them to pay the shipping, I don't see an issue there. But what you would probably want to do is jump them ahead. Like if they're buying the book, right? They have a problem in their business and they want to solve it quickly. Don't depend on them to consume the book to take them to the next step. Assume that they don't want to read the book and they're just buying this as early access to you, because you are the solution to their problem. This is where, they put the credit card in, they've got the book. Now you immediately want to give them the next thing so they don't have to wait. For one, they don't have to wait for the book to be shipped to consume it, and they don't have to wait to consume it to get what they really want. Offer them what they really want right then and there. And it could even be a bigger jump. Like, I don't know what your next thing is that you sell them, but it could be a few $100 or even $500. You could literally take them right to it right there if it's enough value. And with those guys, the manufacturers, they're not nickel and diamond stuff. If they see value in something, their businesses are in the millions of dollars. They're not starting out. A manufacturer is not starting out. Especially if they've been in business long enough to be failing, they have a lot to lose and a lot to gain. So the value is through the roof for them.
And this is just one of 5 niches that Claude identified for me. 2 of which I hadn't even thought of and I liked. I'm going, okay, I'd like to, because I'd rather, there are 2 I thought, I'd rather go to those than go directly back to the manufacturers, because I've done the work with the manufacturers. There's a reason that I haven't been doing that work.
Yeah. Like I've always said, manufacturers were my ideal bread and butter.
Yeah.
That has been my ideal customer, since I got into the whole web space.
But I'd much rather train other people, and this was kind of one of the directions it took me that I hadn't thought about. Train other people how to do that and send them in to go disrupt everybody's lives, as opposed to leading that again.
Yeah.
And then I can go focus on some other stuff that needs to be marketed aggressively.
Yeah, well, that's cool stuff.
Thank you. Appreciate the
you should
feedback.
have no problem, running them through an ascension ladder if they buy into that video in the book. But don't assume they want the book. They don't want the book. The book is a stepping stone to them to get to you. You're putting a speed bump in their way to basically qualify them. If they're not willing to buy the book, they don't get to touch the cloth. They don't get to ascend, and they want to ascend. So let them ascend quickly, rapidly. So, but the book is a great qualifier. If let's say you just gave the book away for free, like what I'm doing, you wouldn't be qualifying them at all. I should probably be qualifying people better, but I didn't want to go to the trouble of actually printing a book and shipping a book because I'm just too lazy for that. But it is a good qualifier to do that.
Hey,
And
John,
they can
would
use print on demand and, you know, all of that stuff to accomplish that. So definitely, definitely use that as your ascension. All right. So anything else, Jeff? Or
No, thank you.
okay,
I really
cool.
appreciate that.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. That was spectacular. All right, I'm gonna
Wow.
hit Gregory and Allie, and then we're gonna
I
wrap
just
up
had a
for today.
Jeff related question, John. Could I squeeze
Okay.
it in before Jeffrey? I mean, before Gregory. Gregory, if that's okay with you.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to ask about on Jeff's. I was just thinking about what you were saying. So would he add a segment to that commercial to say it when you order the book, I'm going to give you a bonus, a private one-on-one, you know, that kind of a thing, so that it's even more like a bill flushing out, or
If they've already paid for the shipping, you have turned them into a customer, so it's time to sell them up, not give them more free stuff.
oh, okay, I
The,
gotcha. Thank
the
you.
free stuff is just to get them to pay for something. Once they've paid for it, it's game on. You go to town.
And in the book, by the way, there's two bonuses that are on a bonus page in the back of the book, and one's a 30-minute coaching call, and the other is a summary implementation guide, so they don't have to read the book. It's like here's in 2 pages, here's in a couple pages how to.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Jeff, I saw an ebook that had those little what do you call those things? Those QR codes that said bonus on every 2 pages. So they
Yep.
drove people to click to bonuses. You might want to put something like that on your first page, because I don't know, like John says, most people don't read the book, so they might not get to the last page. But I've seen that being done on ebooks lately, because I bought one and it was loaded up with QR codes every 2 pages. So just an idea for you and everyone else, hopefully.
Yeah.
Thank you.
One of the things, like if you want, Jeff, I'll give you the ideal upsell.
Oh no, I wouldn't want the ideal upsell. What would I do with that?
The ideal upsell for you after they've paid for the shipping on the book is to right then and there say something like, you know, I'm taking on 10 people. I'm taking on 10 manufacturers as a test, you know, to actually do this 30 days with them and make sure they get the outcome of it. And you can even put out, you know, it's a fairly expensive program. It's not for everybody. And the first piece of it is we need to figure out if you qualify. So the first step is to apply, and there's $1,000 application fee. If you feel like this is for you, go ahead, apply, put the $1,000 down. We're going to have a 30-minute call. And during that 30-minute call, we're going to decide if this is right for you. And if it's not, I'll just give you your $1,000 back and you got a free consult for 30 minutes. If you decide to move forward, I will apply your $1,000 as a down payment toward the program and we'll be on our way.
And thanks to ChatGPT, Claude, and Perplexity combined, I've already got the business owner coaching program laid out
Yeah, there you
to
go.
sell them right into.
That's how I would sell that. I would make that is your ultimate qualifier. If they throw the $1,000 down, it doesn't mean you're accepting them. You still get a chance to deny them.
Right.
Like if you get on and it's just somebody that you know is going to be problematic and you don't want to deal with them, you can just, for whatever reason, say, you know, this doesn't really seem like a fit. I'm just going to give you your $1,000 back. You know, thank you for applying. But almost anyone that puts the $1,000 down is not going to want it back. They're going to want to move forward. Almost everyone. In fact, every time I've done that, I've never had anyone that had the free consult that did not want to move forward. There was a few I didn't want to move forward with, and I gave them their money back, but it wasn't because they wanted it. It was because they weren't ready, and I wasn't gonna go down that road.
Sure.
So puts you in the driver's seat for who you want to work with too.
That is absolutely golden. Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, Gregory, and then we're going to wrap her up for today.
Okay, on the horizon, there's a site called Hollow, HOLLO.IA. That is an up and coming site. They haven't fully launched yet, but just for those who might be in entertainment, they're going to register your image in a blockchain. So that way, if anybody was to use your image in the future, of course, it's toward actors and performers, it will help them get reimbursed for image usage. And it's on the horizon. It hasn't launched yet, but it's just to give you a heads up of what's coming down the road in that field. And and they do animated clone. What their selling point is a twin of you. So they'll make an animated clone, and then you put your text, and then you get an animated clone to present your product. But John and I saw something better at Vegas that uses real picture as opposed to the animation thing. But I was impressed with the idea of blockchaining your registration, blockchaining your image. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Yeah, that's really cool. All right. Well, I will see some of you on our crypto call here in about an hour, and the rest of you will next week. I wanted to tell you guys, I meant to say this in the beginning. Next week we will be dark. There will be no call next week because I will be at sea and unavailable. So we'll pick it up the following week. So if you pop on here next week, you guys are welcome to come in and talk, but I won't be here. Anyway, we will see you week after next. And if you have any questions or anything, go ahead and reach out, put in a ticket, and we will get to you as soon as possible. We'll talk to you all soon.
Thanks, John. Take care.
All ashore.